approaching the retirement age, they can have the same difficulties. Only one will be financially independent, will be healthy. 4 will be financially independent. 41 will still be working. Just imagine being working at age of 65, guys. And 54 will be dead broke. It's a fact. It's a fact, unfortunately. So I got a question for you guys. So I just mentioned about 1%. That means 1 that is wealthy. 4 that are financially independent. 41 that are still working, and 54 that are dead broke. Let's divide into 2 groups. The 5%, that is the 1 and 4, and the 41 and 50 and 55. What group will you want to belong to? The top 2 or the bottom 2? The 5% or the 95%? The 5%, the 1%. 5%, she would say 1%. That's great. Right. In reality, where are the majority of people? 54. Yeah, 41, right? Yeah, it's 5. So that is correct. That is, you got the 5% on one side and the 95% on the other side. Unfortunately, that's what happened in life. Right, a question for you guys. Can you see that we have to change the situation? And the question I'm going to ask you, who's going to change the situation? Is it yourself? Is it the bank? Or is it the government? Yourself, right? Great answer. That's what we think as well at AfrikExcellence. So we think the same at AfrikExcellence. So who is AfrikExcellence? Yeah, AfrikExcellence is a non-governmental, apolitical, and non-religious organization created by a group of honest Africans who have each succeeded in their own area of expertise and therefore understood the importance of coming together and working in the spirit of synergy. It had a single mission: putting African intelligence and expertise at the service of the world for the benefit of citizens. It has several objectives. Knowledge transfer through training. That's what we intend to do. Wealth creation through company formation. The promotion of young African entrepreneurs. The valuation of African culture. The pooling of human and material resources in the spirit of synergy in order to become more dynamic and competitive on international scale. And the ultimate search for the well-being of the humanity through our various social and entrepreneurial projects. So let's dwell a bit on point 5, which is the pooling of human resources and in a spirit of synergy in order to become more competitive. It's not something that's new, really. We are not innovating. We are just copying other communities. American people have done it. Europeans have done it. The Asians have done it. The Chinese have done it. The Jews have done it. We have to copy that as well. So guys, so let's believe in ourselves. Let's work in the spirit of collaboration and sharing. Let's be honest and sincere. Let's be dynamic. We will be able to change the history and put the African flag higher than other flags in the world. Right. According to Robert Kiyosaki, one of the successful American entrepreneurs and author of several books, among which Rich Dad and Poor Dad, he has developed the fact that there are 4 legal ways to earn money or to create wealth. He talked about the employee and the self-employed on the left-hand side. Then on the right-hand side, he talked about the business owners and the investors. According to this quadrant, guys, as you can see on the board, 2 groups on the left-hand side, the employees and the self-employed. Then on the right-hand side, you got the business owners and the investors. So according to this quadrant, where do people want to belong? Or let me start again. Where do majority of people belong? On the left-hand side. Right. Where do you think that where is the best place to belong? The right-hand side. Thank you. That's what I believe too. Right. So at AfrikExcellence, we intend, or at least we try to move the majority of people from the left-hand side of the quadrant to the right-hand side. That's what we're trying to do. And that leads us to that's one of our objectives, the company creation. So we have created our first company called PRAF Limited, which is a real estate and financial company. And that company has several objectives in the short term, medium term, and the long term. In the short term, we intend to buy properties, improve them, and sell them. We intend to become a real estate property management. That's in the short term. Then in the medium term, that is in 5 to 10 years, we intend to become a company worth £10 million. And we intend to create a saving and credit financial cooperative. And in the long term, we intend to become a real estate company valued over £50 million, and we intend to become an international bank. Right, I'm going to tell you about a few facts about property business that very few people will tell you. 8 to 10% minimum return on investment a year. So when you are in properties, you easily earn 8 to 10% profit a year. That's what people do not tell you. We have a profit of 100% every 8 to 10 years on the sale because the value of property double every 8 to 10 years. But very few people will tell you that. And 0% on capital gain tax using the correct strategy when you know it, of course. So if you know how to use the correct strategy, you pay 0% on capital gain. So this is a practical example. So this is a real life example I'm going to talk to you about now. So I got a friend of mine. He's among you here, guys, but he had decided to be anonymous. He said I shouldn't mention his name. So this is one of the property that he bought 8 years ago. He invested. The property was £55,600, but he invested £15,000 as deposit. Can you all see? Okay. So he deposited £15,000. That means he borrowed £40,600 from the bank. So that's the amount that he borrowed from the bank. And the average rent that he's been receiving is £650. That is yearly, he has been receiving £7,800. For the average yearly interest that has been paid to the bank for her borrowed £40,600 from the bank, which is 3%, is £1,218, which gives me a net profit before repair and tax of £6,582. Yearly, the average repair and tax is £2,500, which gives you a net profit of £4,000 for over £4,000. The ratio of profit, 27.21%. Can you see that? That is the return, that's the profit ratio a year. But we just said on the fact that it was 8 to 10%, right? So that was just the bare minimum. So, and this is a real life situation. So see what happened next. 8 to 10 years later, that is after he acquired in 2014, 8 to 10 years later, his property has been estimated at £110,000. Can you see that? He bought it at £55,000, but 10 years after, he has been valued at £110,000. So now let's remember that the bank loan was £40,000 and the deposit was £15,000. So if he decides to sell that property, he's going to sell it at this price. You agree? Okay. So if sold it at that price, his gross profit was going to be $54,400. Then his capital gain, then he's going to pay the capital gain tax. Although, if you know the strategy, you don't have to pay. You're going to pay 20% capital gain tax of $10,000. And the capital gain tax, 20%, that is $10,000 payable to government. Then the net profit of $53,520. Can you see? Right. How much did you invest at the beginning? Can anyone remember? No. 15,000. Thank you. Right. Okay. So now let's calculate his profit on his capital initial investment. So he initially invested 15,000. Now he's having a profit after 10 years of 53,000. Times 100 divided by that gives you over 300% profit. Is that not amazing, guys? Yeah? Thank you. But in fact, he didn't do that. He didn't sell it. He thought smart. He did something different. So he remortgaged the property. So he refinanced it. So he tried to get more money from the bank to invest into other properties. So he raised 86% on that amount, and he had £95,000 he invested on 2 different properties. So he bought that property, he deposited 40,000 and got 100,000 from the bank to finance that property. And now that property is giving him £4,400 a year net profit, which is 15% return on investment. Is that not amazing, guys? Thank you. So now you can see that from 15,000 initially, now he has 3 properties now. He now has properties from initial 15,000. So just imagine, and that is one person. Just imagine that 5 people, 10 people, 20 people, 30 people got together, get involved into that business. What do you think that they could achieve? A lot, yeah? Right. So that guy's been doing that by himself for the last 10 years. But he hasn't got a great impact because he's on his own. But if people get together, that becomes more important. Right. So having that in mind, according to our 5th objective, putting together our human and material resources in the spirit of synergy in order to become more dynamic and competitive, we have decided, you can see what we have to do. We have decided to, well, I mentioned already, to create a company called PRAF Limited. And we are now trying to get people involved so we can get involved into that business. So currently, on my street, there's a property that they're selling at this value, £130,000. That is on my street. But I cannot get into it myself. I cannot, because I don't have that much money at a time. But if 2 people, 3, 4 get together, how easier could that be? Yeah? And I got a friend that lives in Sheffield, and he's in this room now, but he's to stay anonymous. He faced the same issue. There's a property that he's trying to buy for that price, £55,000. He tried by all means. He couldn't raise that amount by himself. But if we got together, how easier could that be? Absolutely easy, isn't it? And that's not all. I got another friend. I even went to see that property myself. And that property was going for £95,000. But she couldn't acquire the property. She could not, because she was down financially. But if 5 people were together, we got together and buy that easily. Right. So before I reach my conclusion, so I'm going to stop here. I'm going to stop here for now to allow other speakers to talk, because you got a lot of speakers here today. I'm going to get conclusion later. And in the meantime, I'm going to pass the phone back to the MC. And I'm going to give some questionnaires that we're going to fill in the meantime.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Josh. A big round of applause for our main speaker. Thank you. So at least you know what it's all about. It's about Africa excellence. So we are here to change the narrative about how Africa do business, or how we actually manage to succeed. So we're trying to build like a synergy amongst all of us, not to be alone, but to make it all together. So our next speaker is going to be Asif, who is a property manager. He's got a property company here in the UK. So Asif, you got the floor.
Okay. Thank you very much for inviting me. My name is Asif Zubair. I'm a financial advisor and accountant, and we have this company, Care for Properties, where we manage properties of landlords, and we also sell properties. We do the repairs also. So and also we do the mortgages. So this company have 4 departments. One is letting, where we let properties of landlords. Secondly, we sell properties also if somebody want to sell. Then we have a repair department. We do the repairs, and the 4th one is mortgages. We arrange mortgages. We have associated company who does the accounting side, but that's separate. So I want to discuss if it looks like from the objective of this meeting that we want to teach people how to invest in the property market. So buy to let market is very, very popular nowadays, where you buy the property and then you rent it out to earn the profit. Like George explained, that you earn a decent profit every month, and also the property price goes up every 10 years, and then you reinvest it, or you can sell it, or you can remortgage it and get your money back and then reinvest it. So, so first of all, there are two avenues in the investment market. One is buy residential property, which is the most common kind of property people are buying. The other one is commercial property. So you're buying a property which is a shop, for example, or a warehouse. So in residential property, you attract tenants who are families or single. In commercial, you attract the businesses. And they lease for like a 10 year, 15 years. It's a long-term lease. So they both have their own benefits and disadvantages. So how do you buy the property? The most common way to buy a property, you buy from the agent. So there are many agents in UK. They advertise on their websites. There's Rightmove, Zoopla. You check as per your budget, and then you put an offer. But the other way to buy the property is through auction. Auction is a little bit different. The reason is, in auction, if you want to buy, you have to pay the full price. You can't get a mortgage. If you're buying from an agent, you can get a mortgage. You pay only 25%, or if you're a first-time buyer, you can pay 10%. Nowadays, there is a scheme you can pay 5% if you're a first-time buyer. But in auction, you have to pay the full money, the full amount. There's no mortgage. And then you pay on the auction date 10% deposit, and the 90% deposit you have to pay within 28 days. You have 28 days, you have to bring the money and pay it. If you don't pay within 28 days, your 10% is gone. You won't get it back. So third one is, which is very, very popular nowadays, that people buy properties, rundown properties, the properties which have loads of work involved, they're damaged, and it's not habitable, you can't rent it out. And people, for example, an old man living there, or maybe the property had some roof damage, some leak, the roof collapsed, and they just moved out and they want to sell it now. So people buy that property, and you buy undervalue, you buy cheaper, you buy cheap, and then you work yourself, or you hire the builder to work. And then you make it ready, and then you sell it, or you rent it. So people are making good money. It's called flipping a property. Meaning you buy a property which needs loads of refurbishment, and then you can do yourself part of the refurbishment, which is easy, like a painting and cleaning, and you then hire builders to do the rest of the stuff. And then if you, for example, are buying a property of 100,000 and you're spending on, let's say, 20,000 pounds, so your investment is 120, but you might sell that property for 150, so you're making 30,000 pounds there. So because most of the people who want to invest, they don't want to go these area because it's risky. You don't know what's happening. You know, maybe the property needs loads of refurbishment. If you have little bit knowledge and research, then you can find the good deals there, and then you can make good profit. And then the last one is nowadays very common and very, very popular is holiday let, because you make more money than renting in to a normal traditional tenants. So you put your property, you make it very, very good, make it actually like a hotel, and then you put this on the Airbnb or Booking.com, and you rent it on room basis, on night basis. Sometimes people pay you very good amount if it's a holiday season, like a Christmas or other Maybe there's a football match going on, people pay you 3-4 times, and they're a group of people, they don't want to live in the rooms, in the hotels, and they want to live in a house where they can make a tea, coffee, make breakfast, they'll give you premium. That's another way. But there is lots of work involved, meaning you have to clean it when they move out. So you have to make it very ready. There's a license involved. You have to go to the council to tell them that property is holiday let, and they give you license for that. And also, if it's on a mortgage, you be careful, because most of the mortgage companies, they don't allow holiday let. They want you to rent the property to a traditional family on AST, not holiday let. But so you have to take a special permission from them. There's special lenders who give the loan for the holiday lets. So investment in properties, you need partners. By the way, any questions you guys have, I'm ready to answer in the presentation also. So I've a long time back, like 7-8 years back, I went to London and I attended a seminar like this, conference, and they said, property investment, you need partners. If you have 4 partners, your success is guaranteed. If you have 4 good partners. Number 1 is a state agent, expert estate agent. Any area, Sheffield, Leeds, London, you need an agent who knows the area, who knows each street in their area. So it's a good street, bad street. This area is good, that is good. What's the rental popularity? Some areas in Hare Hills, people don't want to rent. So if you buy a property there, you're stuck. You won't find a tenant there. So you have to pay the monthly from your own pocket. So, but if an agent tells you, no, this is not a good area for you, that's a good area, same price, but if you buy in this area, your property will be never empty. It's empty, the next week you will get a tenant. So expired agent is the number 1 requirement if you want to go into property business. Then the good mortgage advisor, very, very important. Because like George gave in his example, somebody paid £15,000 and then the rest of the money he got in the mortgage. So you need a good mortgage advisor. Some mortgage advisors, they work in a couple of banks, only 2, 3, 4, 5 banks. And then those banks are specialists, they charge higher. So for example, if you don't know that what's the cheapest rate available, you will just accept any rate. So if I go to a mortgage advisor and another mortgage advisor can offer me 3%, and I know that guy, and I know one guy, and he's saying, no, I have a cheapest rate 7%. So I will accept it. Why? Because I don't have any option, and I want to buy a property, I have only deposit, I said, okay, maybe this is the cheapest rate. But if you research, if you find a good person, good mortgage advisor, he will give you a rate 3%. So between 7 and 3 is a 4%. Even it's not a 4%, even a 1% difference. For example, you got a good deal is 3% and somebody gives you 4%. So 1% over the period of 5 years you fix, it's a big amount of money. And then there's fees also. Then there's few banks who offer you very good deals. They don't charge you any fee. They provide you free valuation. They have a best rate. So in order to get those best deals, you need a good mortgage advisor. Then project manager. Project manager is also, they need to be on your speed dial. Meaning they need to be on your friendly basis. You can ring them anytime and tell them, okay, listen, I've seen a property, can you just check it for me? And the builder, before you buy, he will go there with you and he will say, yeah, this property looks okay, but I think something is wrong with the roof, maybe something wrong with the drainage. Sometimes the properties have hairline fracture, like structural problems. You don't touch those properties. Obviously, the project manager, because they have experience, and they can say, no, this property looks like a problem. And then they will give you some points in the property, and then you will go to the agent and tell them this property have these kind of issues in the property. And then you can get the lower price. You can get a discount because you know. But if you don't know the project manager, maybe you guys are working, you got your own job, your own profession, you don't know the property market, and you will go there and you don't see those properties. And the project manager is very, very important. If you have bought the property now you have issues in the property, and it's not rentable or it needs little work, then again the project manager is very important. He will go and he will check and he will say, yes, I can do this for you, I can do very quickly, and then you can rent it out very easily. So project manager is very, very important. And the last one is accountant. You need a good accountant who knows property tax structure, who knows the tax savings, who knows how to claim expenses. There are many expenses you can claim. There are void periods you can claim. There are strategies, like George said, you can save tax. Then you can see how not to pay tax. So for example, nowadays, I'll give you a little bit example. So there is a government is taxing people, landlords, who have more properties, whose income is more than 50,000. They're just taxing them. But if you buy in a property company, then there's loads of savings. So accountant is very, very, very important. So estate agent, mortgage advisor, project manager, and accountant. If you have these good people, the honest people, not people who will just misguide you, then your success is guaranteed. This I learned like at 8 years back in London. And I experienced that that's true. So buying a property obviously needs money spending on. Solicitor fee, around £1,000 you will spend if you're buying a property. Estate agency fee. Estate agency fee is usually the charge if they source for you, but usually it's on the buying side. Then the letting agency fee, if you want to rent the property, you have to pay, ranging from 8% to 10%, 12%, depending on the area and the property survey. Like I said, some banks, they give you free survey. So, like I said, good mortgage advisor will find you a deal with you don't have to pay survey fee. But some banks, they do charge. Mortgage broker fee, stamp duty. Stamp duty is important. If you want to buy your first house, there is no stamp duty. Obviously, up to 250,000. If you're buying an expensive house, more than 250,000, even if it's your first house, you pay stamp duty only on the part above 250,000. But if it's your second house, like you want to rent it out, then you pay 3%. And then you pay insurance. Insurance is very, very, I've seen in my life, I'm doing this for I started in 2010. Many people, they don't want insurance, building insurance. Building insurance is very important. So if, God forbid, there is a fire in the house, how will you pay yourself? The bank is going to come and say, okay, property is not generating, is damaged, you have to pay it back. Or there is a flood, there is a roof collapsed, or there's a leak, and the kitchen is collapsed, there's a £10,000 bill, who will pay? So building insurance is annual only £200, £180 per year. But that can save you loads of hassle. And the other point, which is very important, that when you buy building insurance, you buy legal insurance also. The building insurance is £150 or £180, and if you add legal insurance, you pay another £10 for the full year, £10, £15. But what that cover? What that cover is, if tenant has fell down, or the tenant's kid has fell down and got his injury, they can sue you. They can say, your property is not safe. That's why my son or my daughter is injured. And then they will go to any solicitor, and the solicitor will take their case on no fee basis, because they can see the case as I've seen this many times. And then the solicitor will give you a letter asking you that you pay this tenant this amount of money because their kid is injured. And then you will have to hire a solicitor. So you pay solicitor yourself. But if you have legal insurance, that £10 can give you free legal cover. And then you save money. I've seen people, recently, one of our landlord, he tried to evict someone from the property because the tenant was living there for 6 years, same rent, and he said, okay, now I want to raise the rent. It's 6 years. Now the rent has gone up. I want to raise the rent. And she said, no. and he tried to evict through the court, and the other tenant, they filed a solicitor, and they started blaming the property is this, property is that, property has leak, it's cold, it's damp, and we got the problems, health issues because of the property. And they got a solicitor, no fee, no, and there's legal aid also. They can get legal aid. You can't get legal aid. The government thinks you're a rich person, you have property, but the tenant, they can get a legal aid. So his bill has come around £25,000. He won the case, but if he has lost, he would have paid from his pocket. But luckily he had an insurance. He had a legal insurance. He paid £10 extra. And then actually the insurance company hired a solicitor for him. He didn't find a solicitor himself. Insurance company hired a solicitor for him, and he's fighting his case. So insurance is very important. If you guys have property, please get insurance, building insurance. George mentioned, I'm sorry, George, I have to just little bit contradict that prices not always rise. I've seen 2008, the prices crashed. And I've seen people who bought the property 110,000, they came to me, they said, want to sell it. Even it's £50,000 want to sell it. The bank is after them, their credit history is destroying, they're paying the money every month from their pocket. So they just want to sell it, and they will just give the rest of the money back. Yes, that's right. That's a very rare crash, which happened in 2008. You can just Google it, you will find out. But that's very rare. Majority of the time, the prices of the property go higher and higher and higher. The reason is, UK is island. They don't have any land, and everyone in the world wants to come to UK. So there's always a shortage of the houses, always. I've seen every time, and if you do the research, you will see, even in 1950s, 60s, there was a shortage when there was less people. Now, the students are coming, the people are coming from Hong Kong, from everywhere. There'll always be a shortage. And when there's a shortage, price will go up. But keep in mind, it's not always green. You have to, if you're investing in the property market, just to have to be aware, recession can happen. It happened in 2008. And the property went half down. In Hare Hills, the people buy property 100,000, it went to 50,000. So that's also, so it's changing. The only thing you have to think about, even if the property price go down, but the rental is still there, it's still rentable. If the area is good, you still get the rent, then you can survive the recession. For example, you're paying a mortgage of, let's say, £700, and you easily get a rent of £1,000, you're still making, even you get a rent of £800. So £700 your mortgage is, rent is £800, and you're making £100. And you're not losing out. Even the property price has gone down, but still you can survive. So that's the reason the area is very important. Don't buy in the area which doesn't have a rental value. Then law may change, like I just gave you example that in 2017 the law changed. If somebody is earning more than £50,000, there was an additional tax charge on it. It's a complicated, I don't want to bore you guys, but all of a sudden the people who had 10 properties, they were making losses. So before this law, they were making good money, but after this law, 2017, they were making losses because the majority of the portion, the government say taxable, which was not taxable before. The law can change. So it's better. Then again, in this situation, your accountant can help you. They know what's going to happen because it's always in the news. Government is making plan. Government doesn't announce the change in the taxation all of a sudden. They make plan first. They announce in the pre-budget, and then the discussion. It 2-3 years. After 2-3 years, the law become law. So, finding the right property and best mortgage deal. I think I've covered it, but I can just quickly rephrase. The research about the areas is very important. An area where the tenant always want to. So there are areas in Leeds where which are not multicultural. They're predominantly white areas, and we find very, very hard to rent the property in that area. Because majority of the people, they want to live in the area which is multicultural, with every community, and they feel safe there. So if you buy a property in Belle Isle or Middleton, and then you won't find a tenant there. So your investment is dead. So always research first. An agent can help you which area is better. Property, choose the property very carefully. Don't just buy, it's cheaper. There will always be a reason why it's cheaper. Check carefully, check the area. Land registry, £3. If you pay £3, land registry can give you the title deed. And then title, there must be some reason, maybe some covenant, some restriction. Before you buy, check the title of land registry. Take builder with you. He can see what's happening. He can see the roof. He can see the drainage issues. And then when you have done the research, then you have checked the title and the builder has went with you, and then you're happy with it, and then you put an offer. And then your offer is accepted, then you have to arrange a mortgage. And then a mortgage advisor will arrange for you. And then so when mortgage is arranged, then the case go to solicitor. And solicitor always busy. They have loads of work. And I've seen the only file they work on, who pushes them. If you don't call them, don't email them, they won't work on your file. They will just say this person is not very in hurry. So they will always work on the file which people are pushing them. So if you want to buy property after mortgage, your job is to every 3-4 days just ring the solicitor or email them what's happening, what's update, what's happening. And then after that you rent the property. Thank you very much. If you have any question, I'm available to answer.
Thank you, Asif. One more recommendation, please. Either you can switch off your phone or turn it on silence if you don't mind. So we are going to move from property now to something else. Our next speaker is going to be Anu. She's the CEO of Naras, an e-commerce business. So you've got the floor.
Oh dear. Hi everyone. I know we've been listening to properties. So now let's look into something slightly different. Thank you, George, for giving us this opportunity. I do not take it for granted at all. What this is about, it's about online selling, particularly using either your own platform or other big brothers' platform, such as Amazon, any e-commerce platform, as you know. Do we know any other platforms that you can sell on? eBay, Shopify, Facebook, a lot of things are cropping up. TikTok, Etsy. For example, if you're doing things like handcraft, Etsy is like a very good place to actually do sell. So, as you know, after COVID, a lot of people tend not to buy on, like go to shops like usually. And a lot of people are shifting, even our young kids. My little 7-year-old, 8-year-old will send me things from Shein, Temu, Mommy, can you get this for me? Even our younger generation now are pivoting from normal day-to-day shop into online shopping. And that's where we are today. So my name is Anu. I run an Amazon store whereby I sell things on Amazon, and I'll obviously talk you through it as we're going. We look at the 4 quadrants. Some of us wants to be on either the left or the right as an employee, 9 to 5. There's nothing wrong with that. Or as a business owner or an investor. I'll tell you a little bit about me. Qualified as a lawyer, following my dad's footstep. Obviously, he's an immigration lawyer here in Leeds. But that wasn't for me. Practiced for the first 7 years of my life. I didn't like it. I just felt like I was in a dead-end job. Every day I'd sit in my lovely office and I'll stare outside and I'll be like, there is more to life there. As a young girl, 24, 25 then, I thought, right, I need to find something. Had my first son, Nathaniel, when I was 26, I'd say. And I remember saying to myself, I need to get out of this 9 to 5. But shortly after maternity was over, I went back to work and got pregnant with the second one, Annalise. She's 6 now. And I remember while I was at work, I said to myself, while I was telling my manager why I'm pregnant again, I'll be going on maternity soon. I remember working on a case file, and I said to myself, Anu, if you don't find a way to get out of this 9 to 5, that's it, you're done, because I wasn't planning on having any other kids. On obviously going on maternity, I remember a few friends in Leeds, they were doing Amazon, and I begged everyone to teach me. They're like, oh, you got to pay this amount of money. As you know, statutory maternity then is only £500. And I'm like, okay, how can I pay £500 out of my statutory maternity? You want 1,000, and I'm earning 500 being on maternity. And my husband said, go on YouTube and learn about Amazon. But it took me a while to learn about it. I finally got there. And today, I would say by the grace of God, I'm a 7-figure Amazon seller. Also, we're into properties as well, buying and selling, and obviously renting our property. My husband is actually meant to give a talk, but he had to rush away because we do have a commercial property whereby we do rent out for wedding venues. And also, I love to travel. And why did I get myself into that kind of lifestyle? Because I decided to get out of the rat race, as I'll put it, and go into business. And another thing it allowed me to do is obviously to give the children I have the life they want. I wanted them to go to an independent school, which is a private school. Not because there's anything wrong with public school, but I just wanted that kind of level of exposure for them. And that's what they've got from their young age of 2.5 years. So e-commerce is now becoming like a big thing for everyone, even young people, to buy, to sell on. And another big thing is like you need to understand that having an e-commerce business would help you to give your whatever model you want to go into an exposure that would really help you. Why I love Amazon is because Amazon is actually, why I'm sure one of you will be like, okay, why don't you have your own website? I've got a lot of people that have said to me that, why don't you have your own website? Because I cannot pay for the advertisement Amazon has got. You would not sit down in your house and remember that, oh, I need to go on Anu's website and buy. First thing you go onto is you go onto Amazon and you buy from there. And there are individual sellers like myself, yourself, that will be there selling things to Amazon, to obviously the buyers. Another thing is once you start selling on Amazon, you will create your own platform or your own advertisement in the items you're selling, i.e. your card, your brand name, in order to drive the traffic into your own website, directly moving your own customers to your own website. So Amazon is a channel to move people into your own website. Why do we sell on Amazon or any e-commerce? I'm using Amazon because obviously it's actually a big one. eBay is also there. I prefer Amazon because it was just easy for me to start on to. If I obviously have other things that I can't flip on Amazon, I'll move on to eBay. I've got TikTok as well account. You'll be surprised that a lot of people, we just started listing on TikTok recently. And the other day, one of my staff said, oh, we've got quite a few orders on TikTok. I'm like, interesting. With Amazon, we're paying 30% as per fees. On TikTok, we're paying maybe 0.5% fees, which is obviously really good for profit generating as well. With Amazon, once you're putting things on Amazon, you want to factor your 30% cost into it so that you ensure that you get that profit for yourself. And if you're selling 100 grand a month kind of sales, if your profit is 30,000, 30%, which is 30,000 after your overhead, if you're into a 9 to 5, would you really make that? Let's be honest with each other, because that's like someone's yearly salary. And with Amazon or any e-commerce business that you are running, you'd always either make a profit or make a loss. So you have to make that decision. First of all, how do you start? What do you like? Some people might like crafty items. Some people might like groceries. Some people might like pet stuff. So you have to think about, what niche do I want to go into? That's the first thing. What makes a successful e-commerce business? You need to obviously create yourself a brand, i.e. what niche do I want to go into? My niche might be different from what your niche is. Like I always say something, I'm a giver. I love to give a lot. So how did I establish myself in Amazon? I started doing things like gift hampers, started making gift things for new moms to be, people that are sick, wanting to give a leavers gift to teachers. So my niche obviously started pivoting towards gifting items, and that was how we got our own brand. If anyone goes on Amazon and they say, oh, we've seen Nara's, oh, that's me. oh, so there's someone called Naras on Amazon. We don't know the person. And I'm just like, it's me. Because obviously they didn't expect that. A lot of people are into groceries. They just obviously bundle maybe tea bags together, or even pack of 6 biscuits, or pack of 10 tea bags, or pack of coffee. Whereas we've created a nice brand for ourselves, whereby we've got like a lovely gift box. Everything is in there with a little bow on top of it. I don't have to do this because I have people that will do it for me. But my vision is for me to write down the vision and just say, right, guys, run with it and create this for me. Approve it, and they send it to Amazon to sell. We don't have to physically sell anything. We don't have to physically fulfill anything. Everything is done by Amazon. We prepare it, we send it to Amazon, and they sell to customers. So your job is just to get the product ready and get it to Amazon. So your successful brand would actually give you that first set of success on e-commerce business. Whereas when you're working with eBay, you have to do the fulfillment. The fulfillment is it really is a lot of work, because during this season, whereby the busy Christmas season, when you're fulfilling things, it becomes overwhelming. Amazon takes that problem off you, because they're fulfilling for you on behalf of yourself to customers. That's why everyone can get their items on Amazon next day delivery. It's different from drop shipping. Yes. With drop shipping, you're buying from another website, and obviously they will deliver onto the person. The only problem I have with dropshipping, which is no problem, my sister was still, obviously, because I've introduced her into Amazon, and she's also big on Amazon, but she's in London. She was mentioning about like, oh, you're going into dropshipping. I've done it before, but I didn't like the fact that if a customer don't like the item, they send it back to you, then you have to find a way to send it back to wherever you've dropshipped from. And then if you can't return it, that becomes your problem. So yes, they've changed the system now. Interesting. So why sell on Amazon? Build an attractive store. Like, that's something that it's easy to learn, easy to work with. Once you understand the system, you create yourself an attractive store. You choose the right products. Like I said to you, I love gifting. My gifting even goes as far as gifting for pets. You'll be surprised how many people would gift out things to pets. Like over Christmas, I've created like gift for pets. Like, as you know, in this country, they love their pets. They love their pets. And I created like a random stuff for pets, and we sold thousands of it last Christmas. And this Christmas, we're going big on it as well, because people will be like, oh, who would give a dog something? Who would give a cat? Like a cat's collar, as tiny as cat collar, 50p from the manufacturer. We're selling it at $14.99. The ROI is insane. Like, I would say right now, like it's unreal, because cat's collar, who gives it that? But so far it's shiny, it's lovely. You put it in a box with a little card there saying Merry Christmas. They're happy to buy it at any cost, because their cats and their dogs are their best friends. So we need to think about outside of the box. It's not about just tea, biscuit, groceries, and things like that. Also, find your right target audience. That obviously takes to like me looking into like pet owners. People would have rabbits, they do gift a rabbit things. So I look beyond human beings. I go beyond that. A lot of people would want to give their friends, old friends in the hospital, gifts, and they would buy little random stuff. There was a time that I went to a store and I cleared out all their licorice, and they said to me, oh, why are you buying licorice? You must be going to toilet a lot. And I was just there going, well, why? Because a lot of old people are there in the hospital, in the care homes. They'd love licorice. We put bundles of licorice together, a little lovely carton, we care for you, nice gift for you. And hundreds of it was flying out of our Amazon store, because people want to gift out things. So what are the benefits of selling on Amazon? Obviously, you learn about people, UK economics. During COVID, a lot of my Amazon colleagues, they smashed it. Like, they were into millions, buying and selling, they were into millions. And that was when COVID struck. A lot of people didn't want to get out of their house. They're buying directly from Amazon. And after COVID, obviously there was a decline in sales. Even right now, there's even more decline in sales, because people are more out. A lot of people that are into Amazon now, I'll be honest, they're literally running out of it, because they didn't understand how to pivot out of Amazon or into Amazon again, because people aren't buying the way they should buy. Another thing, your benefits of Amazon is cash flow. There's constant cash flow, because there's constant selling, and you're turning over money. So far you can manage the cash and you can return it back into the business, the cash flow would always be there. Another thing is freedom of time. Like one thing I say is like I love to travel a lot. Once I've put all the systems in place, because do have staff that works for me as my virtual assistants, we call them VAs in the Philippines. They're working in the back end, running the Amazon business. Mine is to obviously instruct and approve fundings. I have staff in the warehouse here in the UK that are packing for me. I do go there. I'll do the running around. Well, maybe I shouldn't, but I love to still get my hands dirty. Once I do 1 or 2 hours, then I can take the kids to school. I go for my long walk, spend time with myself or my husband, come back home. I have that time for the kids. And then when I'm free or when they're in bed, then I pick up my laptop again, pick up my mobile phone, go through our sales. I'm happy with the sales and I go to bed. I do have that freedom of time. And then you have ability to also scale beyond your imagination, like wherever you want to scale. If you want to be at that level, it's your choice to be at that level. If you want to grow, you can grow. It's how much you want to go into. And one of the biggest things I've learned with Amazon is collaborating with my fellow people. Sometimes I could reach out to either my friends or even my parents, my sisters, and be like, right, I need 40 grand there. And they're able to give that money to me because they know that Anna will turn that money over and she'll return it back. I'd never ask you back for money without giving an interest on it, because I know that I will get times 10 of whatever I've taken from you in terms of like loan. So I've learned to collaborate as well with like family members, with friends, and it's always during the busy period, which is obviously we call it the Q4 period. So Amazon do have a timeline. So not every season is rosy. As you know, even in life, there's time and season for everything. We have 4 timelines: the Q1, the Q2, the Q3, and the Q4. The Q1 out because that's just the easier way for me to understand and also to get myself geared for the year. The Q1 is from January to April, whereby it's a bit quiet, Valentine's season. So you're working yourself. Either you're an evergreen seller or a seasonal seller. I'm a seasonal seller. I love the seasons because it helps, but at the same time, the heartache is a bit there as well. So the Q1 is like a bit slower because obviously that's where Valentine is, Mother's Day, Easter. You're working, you're literally building the momentum because this is actually one of our busiest period, the Q4. So Q4 is between September, October, November, December. Usually this time, nobody sees me around because I'm super busy. And during this time, that's where you can make the biggest money for the year and allows you to rest all through this quarter. So you're working backwards. Once you get to Q1, you're planning for Valentine, resting for the first 2 weeks of the year, then planning for Valentine, Mother's Day. You're speaking to all the manufacturers. And if you cannot work with manufacturers, then work with little stores like Home Bargains. How do you know what to sell? When you go into stores, you see how they're placing things. That gives you the idea of what's the next thing to sell. Because before Valentine, they're already putting things out 3-4 weeks before, but you want to work way in advance before that. Get in there before the store gets in because some people wants to buy in early. Once you're finishing Q1, you're moving to Q2, which is around like for summer period. Spring, summer period. So you're looking what people buying then. People are cleaning their house, they're tidying their house, you're creating cleaning bundles, cleaning products and things like that. Once you get to Q3, and that's you literally gathering all your funding here ready for this big season. At this time, we try to reserve every cash we have in order for us to work to invest in this season. So this is when things are a bit quiet. Everyone is like, what's happening? What's happening? But that's what the Q3 is about. It's holiday time for kids. People are traveling, so you're selling holiday products, you're selling things that people need, essentials, things that people need, gardening products and things like that. You're getting, and it's very quiet here. My staff will always say something that Anu is always crying during this quarter because I'm like, why is it so quiet? Why is it so quiet? And you will see when I show you my sales graph. Why is it so quiet? Why is it so quiet? But once we get here, everything goes up. The sky is your limit here. Well, your starting point. Whatever you can achieve here. So far, you can push in the funding and you have the right product, you would go in big there. So we talked about like who are our target audience during these quarters. The spontaneous buyer, the last minute buyers, and business buyers. Business buyers, like for example, I had few Halloween's product that I wanted to get rid of. And I had some business buyers that were buying like 10, 15, 20, 30 units of an item. I'm happy for them to buy because I just want to clear out the old stock that were obviously literally in our stores. So I created, well, one thing about me is like, I like facts. So every time we hit a milestone, I would always send a screenshot to my dad, obviously, because he's my dad. I remember when we started Amazon, we just actually did like our first maybe 2 grand, and I laughed and I was like, oh, good sales. Just because I feel like as a first child, I feel like I always have to get his validation for some random reason. Maybe because I felt like I left law and I felt like I disappointed him. So I'm like, right, I'm doing something that I actually enjoy. So you've got to be out of that part of that joy. So I remember doing our first sale and we did like 2 grand. I sent him the screenshot. And then when we did our first 12 grand, I sent him another screenshot. And you can tell, like, I do have a bit of sense of humor by bringing glory to the Lord. I think we did our first 100 grand sales there on the third screenshot. And I highlighted it and I sent it to him again. And here we did actually 500,000 sales that year. I think this was in 2021. And I sent it to him with the love heart as well. And when I did my first £1 million sales, I sent that to him again, highlighting the under saying, there you go, Dad. I'm now a million seller. And then he said, I'm so proud of you. Well, then from there, it was more or less like, I know you can achieve more than that. And he's always saying, how can I help you? How can I help you? How can I help? So what is the future goal? So as if you ever get yourself into maybe online selling, don't just think like, oh, I just want to put myself there and just sell and sell and sell. Always think about what's the exit strategy. What's my exit strategy? What's my future plan? What's our future plan? Our future plan is to obviously grow our brand and obviously onto other platforms. Like I said, a lot of platforms are generating a growing from there. TikTok is there. People are doing lives. I need to get myself out there actually. Expand to other areas such as EU, USA. We did have the EU market on Amazon, but they shut it down recently. So we're looking to put ourselves back there and to back to the US markets as well. And also to sell up the brand and also start afresh. Once you've built your brand to a certain and you have all the selling history and the selling the figures in there, some companies are there that wants to buy your brand. They would buy off you, pay you millions, and then you walk out clean. And you can restart it because you started that brand. And that's it. If you have any question, thank you.
Thank you, Anu. 7-figure Amazon seller, that's great. So we've got our last speaker, who's going to be Martin, a chartered accountant.
Thank you so much to George for the opportunity to come here this evening and speak to you about this business that I started with a friend of mine. Where do I start? It's been a long journey. We've been speaking, myself and George, about his initiatives, and there's something that I really admire to start with, and something that I think what I would like to say is something that I can relate to, being able to own something besides the fact that you've studied and you're employed, but to be able to actually give something back that you call your own. So thank you. And I would like to say there's been a lot of knowledge shared. I feel so empowered by Azif, I don't know, I think he's left, and Anu, who's spoken today. It's been really inspiring and empowering. So I think earlier on this year, we decided to join this partnership. So my background is account. M&M stands for Martine and Mercy. So we're called M&M Tax and Account Services. So Martine is myself and my partner is Mercy. She's not here due to prior commitments. So we're certified accountants by profession, and we decided to set up this small business. So between ourselves, we've got over 15 years of experience, and that spans between the private sector, where I started, and later on moved into public sector about 8 years ago. So the services that we offer is So the property business, as George mentioned to start with, that is a business that is offered to, well, open to a lot of people. People can decide to do that, to set up their actual businesses and run the property business as a company. And when you do that, HMRC or the government will expect you to submit annual returns, and this is where our services come into it. So we prepare annual returns for small cell traders, companies. We also offer self-assessment returns. So these are people that decide to just work for themselves. So instead of being employed by a company, you can be a self-employed person. At the end of the year, the government will expect you to submit all your income, take into account your expenditures, and submit what you've earned so that tax can be worked out for you to pay. So that's where our services come in. Alongside this, I also provide one-on-one financial advice, and I've had a client come to me. A client come to me and say, Martine, I see that you're really good with managing money. I want to learn a bit more how you are able to, save such a money, or what do you do? We had literally an hour's meeting, and I gave him about 10 things to go and do to actually enable his finances to work better for him. I feel a lot of people do have money, but at the end of the month, they think to themselves, where has the money gone? Where has the money gone? And sometimes it's that financial knowledge that you need. You just need someone to tell you, you've got this direct debit. In his case, he's got a membership for the gym, £80 a month. He doesn't go to the gym. So I said to him, what's the reason for you paying £80 a month? Come out with me. I do run daily. Come, let's go for a jog. Cancel that direct debit that you don't need to have it running out of your bank every month. So that's a service that we also offer. As I said, tax return, that's for companies that have set up and have to adhere with the financial compliance, and as well as business incorporations. So our goal is to assist businesses. As George mentioned, we are Africans, proud of that, and we want to do well. We want to, to be able to put our footprint where we are. We want to be able to empower the next generation, the kids that are coming along. So we're here to assist, educate businesses on what they need to do when it comes to finances, because finances is needed to make a business thrive. I work for the NHS, and you would think the NHS is there just for the health of the nation. But great amount of effort and energy goes into actually doing the background, the finances that helps the system run. So this is something we want to pass on. We want to empower, and we want to provide that service to business owners, upcoming business owners, influence them and give them that confidence that this is a tool that is open to you, whether there's grants that you can apply for that you're not aware of. We can do that research and lay out the options out for you. So, yep. And I've come across this, I came across this great quote by Richard Branson, who you all know of, the owner of Virgin. And I thought it really spoke to me. It says, business opportunities are like buses. There's always another one coming. So as we look to get into business or grow into business, there will be some failures. There will be opportunities that will be missed. But just keep in mind, another one will come along. and you best catch it when it does. So to summarize, we believe in giving, just as Anu said. Giving is actually a benefit to yourself, because the more you give, the more you attract. So we're believing in giving 110%, and we're believing in using our knowledge, expertise that we've gained through our different work, and to be able to pass on that financial knowledge to our future clients. So if you have any questions, I'll be around. Thank you.
Summarize everything, and then we can call it a day. Right. Right, okay, this is my conclusion. I know you had a lot of things to take in, which is not easy. I don't expect you to remember everything that I'm going to say here today, but at least my conclusion going to sum up things which we can, at least look up to. If there's one thing that you can remember from the presentation today, it should be this. Joining AfrikExcellence, you will be joining a group of like-minded, willing to bring their expertise and experience, so we can pull capital and material to get involved into project and future, and for a better future. Like Anu said, Future is bright. She made £1 million last year. Is that not amazing, guys? Please, again, give you a big clap. Yeah, £1 million, £1 million business owner, which is great. Right, by company, we're going to be in a lot of businesses, so we're going to open our wings and fly. So we got Martin here, the chartered accountant. That means every penny that you invest will be looked after. You're not going to lose your penny, because it's been looked after by a well-experienced and expert in the field. And obviously, you're a humble servant. I'm going to be here with you guys. So if anything, you can come over to me, and I can tell you what I think. So that's pretty much it. If I can say one more thing. If you guys as well, if you have experience, expertise in any field, guys, come and speak to us. We need everyone. I know that a lot of you have experience in a lot of fields. So come with us, share with us, no matter the field, share your knowledge with us. We can see how we can all put together to make it a reality. And this is one of the business tycoon that I love so much, Sir Richard Branson. If someone offers you an amazing opportunity, but we're not sure you can do it, just say yes and go and learn about it. So if you believe that it's a good thing that we're talking about, and if you don't understand, doesn't matter. Time will tell. You will learn in the long run. And right, okay. The next thing that we're gonna do is not gonna be on a venue like this one. We're gonna carry on online, so it'll be virtual. So we'll be sending you day of businesses or day of meeting, but it'll be virtual. It'll be online, so you will not need to come over here. There are people that come from London, Birmingham, Glasgow, and so on. So you will not leave the comfort of your own house. So you can stay from home and listen to what we're gonna say. Right, and so our next presentation will be the valuation of our BELS deal. We'll be in charge of doing that presentation. And another week, we'll be talking about how you can save 4 to 5 years on your mortgage. When you go to the bank going to say, we are giving you 25 years more of mortgage, but they don't tell you how you can pay your mortgage in 21 years. It's possible without adding a penny on what you're currently paying. Let's say you're paying £500 a year. You're going to pay that for 25 years. But there's a way you can pay that for in 21 years. There is a way. But no one will tell you that. Not even the bank. Obviously, they don't need to tell you that, because by telling you that, they're going to lose money. And there are a lot of businesses that we will be sharing with you. And there's a lot of opportunities we'll be sharing with you. And I know that you guys also have opportunities that you want to share with us, so we can grow our own community. Right, so that's pretty much from me. But there's going to be a surprise. I got a friend in this room. He said he got something to share. He just been inspired in here today, and he's going to share something with us. So please give a warm welcome to my friend Sally.
Thank you, everyone. Yeah, I have something to share with you today. Everyone will benefit when you get home. Every single one from here. For example, I just started e-commerce around 1 month ago, but I knew she's gonna be my mentor soon. We have to applause for her. Yeah, I was thinking about Amazon long time ago by myself, but I don't know how to run business in there. I came across something there, what we call Amazon Review. I'm Amazon Reviewer. About 3 years now so far. Very simple. Every month you can make 1,000, 2,000 pounds for free. So, yeah. You don't have any experience, just review products and you get commission for that. There are a lot of millionaires, like Chinese millionaires. You review their products and they pay you the commission and you own the products. How? So I joined the Amazon group reviewer on Facebook, and when you join them, they will send you this Amazon reviewer. Business, Chinese millionaires, they have people who advertise their products. So when you join them, they send you products to review. But how you review, you buy product first. For example, you see some product, 300 pounds. When you buy the product, you hold the product 1 week. After 1 week, and you write the product review. After 1 week, or after 3 days, the Amazon will send you, thank you, your product review is live now. Once you get that email from Amazon, you take screenshot, you send the seller, the person who bought the product. Your review is live now. And they log on or Amazon platform, they see the review and they refund you your 300 pounds. So that means you own the product plus your 300 pounds. You put that 300 pounds in your pocket. If you like that product, you keep that product. If you don't like it, and you put on eBay, on Facebook, and you sell that product. So that free product, isn't it? Very simple. Every single one here, you can make 1,000 pounds, 2,000 pounds every month. Yes. So that was I wanted to share with you today. Amazon product review. So you buy product from the Amazon, but you have to join the Amazon group reviewer first on Facebook. Amazon group reviewer on Facebook. When they approve, you say, I'm UK reviewer. This seller, they will keep sending you like thousands of products. But you don't buy rubbish products. Minimum from 50 pounds, 100 pounds, and you buy maximum 7 products per week. Yeah. When you buy 7 products per week, you wait for, within 1 month, you write that review. Imagine if you buy one product, 300 pounds, times 7 every month. So that money will go in your pocket, plus all that product. You sell that product as well. So my number, anybody who wants to try that, ask George. He'll give you my number. I'll teach you how to do it. So, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. So we are almost at the end of our encounter. So again, thank you for all the speakers. So what we're going to keep today is Africa Excellence. We are here to change the narrative, here to build a gap, to empower everybody. So thank you so much. And you've got all the refreshment there, something that you can eat, and your questions directed to those who are in charge. Thank you again.
ketchup like that. Voilà, voilà, voilà.